On the front side, it could be glitter and fairy dust and glamour and gloss. But there's scotch tape and bubble gum on the back, and I like people to see some of the flaws. It's not all perfect, and I may have a fabulous life, and I always say that I'm fabulous, but I check myself at the door quite frequently.
I think there's some mistake. I'm supposed to be seated in a front row seat.
Darling, everyone wants a front row seat.
Everyone wants. Everyone wants
A front row seat.
Sabre, I know our followers of Dig This Design, they've met you on our Clean Drink Happy Hour, but you're more than just a mixologist with us every now and then.
Yes.
You are a fashion designer, and
I am.
I always love coming to your studio to see your latest and your greatest.
Thank you.
Because I really admire you.
Oh, I love you ladies.
And you're so much more than just fashion.
Yes.
You do music,
Yes.
and much like all of us, I'm an interior designer, but my blog is about all things design because I dig all things design, fashion being at the top of it, and the reason we're here today.
Okay.
But you're also a musician, and I certainly want to introduce our followers to that as well.
Okay.
But knowing that you go in many different directions, have people tried to put you in a box in one venue? that you-
Yes. Yes.
How do you get out of the box? And
Well, a number of things that I actually implement. The key thing is initially when I started out with fashion design, it was just about keeping the public's focus on the product. As time progressed, and through the power of social media, a couple of times I posted my face or just some image of myself, and the likes spiked. And somewhere along the way, my publicist says to me that maybe you need to consider fusing and merging your face with the brand to get people to identify with the face behind the brand. And so now I've become more of the face of the brand, which I, to this day, don't understand what all the fuss is over. I was doing music for about 8 years, and I'm a lover of EDM, which is electronic dance music. And I find that EDM is such a large genre that fits so many different other types of music within it, and it's international. It's universal. It has more, it lasts longer in terms of its likability. Whereas other genres like, say, rock and R&B, when you put out a song or a single, it has a certain time frame that it's going to actually run, and then they move on to the next project. EDM is something that if you put out a song, say, last year, it can be hot to somebody this year, or it can, it can live on and become a classic in its own right, but also travel around the world, and where it may be, say, older in one specific region, it's new somewhere else, and it can be remixed a million times by different DJs, and it just continues to evolve and grow. My theory is that EDM comes from disco music, which was a very fun time in the 70s. I remember my mom was a consummate social butterfly, and that was around the time that she was creating her own designs to go out and party with her friends, and it was just a festive and fun time. And that music seemed to evolve into EDM, and that's, I guess, why I have such a profound love for it. Fast forward today, I launched my own independent label, Mochachino Music, with the intention to give people not only do you see the designs and you see the Mochachino brand, but now you can hear it. It's like the soundtrack to my creativity. So you get to see this fabulous design, but hear the music that actually kind of motivates, or what gave me the inspiration to create the design. I'm always designing to good music, and I kind of want to share that with the people outside of my studio to know, where did this design come from? What was the process of you coming up with this?
So your music helps to motivate.
It's the fuel. It's a
Yeah.
part of the fuel. It's not just color or print for me. A lot of the times the music it could be very subdued, sometimes it could be high energy, sometimes it can be mid-tempo, and that kind of dictates where the design is going to go. And when you actually see it and you hear the music, it all ties in together and you're like, oh wow, now that all makes sense.
Yeah.
In terms of not being in a box, what worked for me with that was being able to fuse the music and the fashion together, as opposed to saying, I am doing this and then I'm doing that. I just was able to kind of just meld it together, where you're getting it all in one place. You get to see the design.
It's a mashup.
It's a mashup.
That's really
it's
what it comes off
it's
as when
definitely
you look
what
at one
it,
of your shows.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. And the cool thing is that when you're at a show, and this is something I learned while living in New York, the soundtrack actually dictates, or at least gives it's like a movie. When you watch a movie and you're watching this scene, that music that's just playing and either faint or resonant in the back is kind of leading the viewer into what's going on in the scene. So sometimes it could be a high-paced, a chase, and the music's very fast, and you're just like, the adrenaline is rushing, and you're like, oh my God, I gotta get them. And then there could be a scene where it's about love, and the music's very light, it's very moody, and it kind of pulls you into the scene, and it just, if anything, it's the lure to what you're watching.
It creates the atmosphere.
Yes,
it
it
does.
does.
The same thing in your fashion.
Yes, and that's
canvas.
right.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted the music to do. I wanted to give people the atmosphere, not just the visual, but also the sound. So you're just pulled into my world, even for a brief time, just to see what it is that I see.